Hand over the mic to our chief guest, Suresh Mane sir, who, just like Baba Sahib, doesn't need an introduction.
This is another shock treatment. Good friends, one day restless Rahul met me in my office, coming with the whole anxiety he was carrying along with him, saying that, sir, there is a lot of problems regarding this book and some of our youngsters are engaged in opposing at least commercial aspect of the book. So we should do something. I said it is good idea, it is your idea, so you should do something. Our problem is that we are originators of ideas and we expect that somebody should do something. And that's always the wrong approach. So I told him, let us go ahead, have a small debate, discussion. And by that method, this program has been materialized. 4 or 5 people have already presented. Some of you must have also read the book. You may be having your own right, wrong notions about the same. Certain points needs to be understood. One is that assessment of Ambedkar when he was alive and post-Ambedkar assessment. These are the two phases. Normally we say that Ambedkar is still less understood, more misunderstood. It is less understood. Reasons are there. My spectacles do not permit me to read, digest, understand. Reasons are there. But when he was alive, he was carrying on with his one of the greatest human rights struggle of this world. Was also not assessed properly. Even when he was alive, he was branded with different adjectives as a stooge of the Britishers. The conformist Hindu, that label was given by the leftist people, even a communist. Even CPI passed a resolution in 1964 that Ambedkar should be limited to only Dalits. It is all on record. It is in my book, Socio-Cultural Revolts in India. It is everywhere. So, till roundtable conference, he was nowhere. All of a sudden, he comes to the whole horizon. And suddenly, the Indian entire mass finds that here is a man who is challenging our socio-political, cultural, economic ethos. And the man who challenges the whole ethos of a particular society, naturally that society will not accept and digest that man. And that exactly happened. So after 30, when he spoke in the 3 sessions, plenary session of the first roundtable conference first, and he opposed systematically the whole ideas, the initiatives of the Congress and Gandhi. He was condemned in India. He was condemned by the newspapers. Now, 1930 is a much later part. In order to understand the Gandhi's opposition of the Congress-Gandhi model, one needs to understand how this model was evolved. We know that the Congress model was evolved by Hume. Till 1905, the flag of the Congress was Union Jack. 1905. So 1885 to 1905, 20 years. Now Gandhi comes to India in 1946, at the age of 46, in 1950. 46 के age में he comes back. Already he had spent 20 years in South Africa. What was his job in South Africa? That is the most important to understand. If you want to understand the Gandhi. First, how Gandhi went to South Africa to help the Indian merchants, traders, as a barrister, as a lawyer. There initially was fighting for the rights of the Indian traders in the South Africa. Now while fighting for the rights of the Indian traders, he has done something little and here giving up petitions, request letters to the Britishers, and by that method he came to the contact with the British Empire or Britishers. First World War, 1913, he himself enrolled as one of the volunteers for the Britishers. In 1913, in the First World War, he himself is a part. For that again he has wrote a letter to the Britishers that some reward should be given to us. And the one British fellow replied that it is not a chocolate which can be given. The same word is also quoted by Arundhati Rai, that is also fine. So, 1915, when he returns from South Africa via England, he is felicitated in England. For what? For the services which he rendered to the British Empire. In 1915, 20 years. Now 1915 में आता है, बड़ा फेलिसिटेशन ये बिरला देता है, कलकत्ता में पहला. First felicitation, big Birla, ample money. Ab Hindustan Times was a newspaper owned by the Birla. Devdas, son of the Gandhi, was also employed in a Hindustan Times. So whole newspaper industry again came at the disposal. अगर आप एक वो बंगाली author की एक दूसरी किताब है, Bengali author, I met him. He stays in Andaman and Nicobar. He is alive. He was a refugee at the time of the partition, came back to India. That time he was the age of 12 years. Now he is a renowned doctor. He stays in Andaman, Port Blair. And he has written a book on Gandhi. And that is published by again a foreign press, not by Indian press. Foreign press. I forgot to bring that. Rahul, that book was given, but anyhow. And in that book he has said that what was the experience of the British Empire with the Gandhi for 20 years in South Africa, Britishers were very much happy with it. And they needed such a kind of a leader who should lead the India's independence movement in the place of leftist or the leaders like Subhash Chandra Bose. And therefore it was ready-made package prepared by the Britishers and it was dispersed to India. Now this kind of thinking is yet to come in a general academia or the intelligentsia or the writings. This thing is yet to develop. But it is a fact that Gandhi was settled down, well established with the help of the Britishers. Otherwise, the man who comes in 1915, that time no TV, no radio, how all the Indians go after him? He comes in 1915, Home Rule League in 1914, Jinnah, Motilal Nehru, they had the problem, K.M. Munshi, they lose, and immediately he becomes the president of the Home Rule League. How it is possible? So there was a systematic machinery used by the Britishers to install the moderate man who could be suitable to the British Empire. And this theme is yet to be developed, even the Dalit intelligentsia, Dalit writing, this theme is even absent. But this is another side which needs to be explored. Second thing is that we know Gandhi, Ambedkar is an anti-establishment model. Do you accept this? Yes. Do you accept this?
Yes. Yes.
Some of you may not, because you may have reservations. For example, any Naxalites or with that kind of ideology, he may not. And initially the same problem was with even PWG group. Why these groups have been taken place afterwards? Initially even Naxalites leaders, they never accepted Ambedkar as one of the radical model or anti-established model. They accepted him as a conformist model. Moderate, reformist, something like that. But Ambedkar has been a radical anti-establishment model in the fullest sense of the term. Not a one economic side, social side, but a complete anti-establishment model. Now, when Ambedkar is a complete anti-establishment model, Gandhi is a perfect pro-establishment model. Perfect. अब जो इन्होंने बताया वो रेलवे बिलियो का एक कोटेशन है मेरे पास, वही तो बुक लाया था मैंने कि परफेक्ट फेलियर, ये गांधी के बारे में एक अच्छी किताब है, कभी मिली तो पढ़ो, गांधी सबलिम फेलियर बाय एस.एस. गिल। वो बहुत अच्छी एनालिसिस है, आपको पढ़ना चाहिए। हमारा कभी कभी प्रॉब्लम होता है कि हम पढ़ते नहीं। अब ये परफेक्ट वही मॉडल है। अब ये दो तीन बातें समझने के बाद देखो, इनिशियली व्हाट हैपेंड, अंबेडकर वाज when he was alive, he was condemned like anything. इसीलिए तो he writes, I am fighting for my greater Swaraj. Your Swaraj is a very limited. My fight is against my own people. Your battle is very easy because you are fighting against someone else, outsiders, foreigners. So your fight is very easy. My fight is difficult. So he was knowing this. And he also admitted that in a Ranade Gandhi Ji, he says, I don't bother what you are telling or how you are describing, how you are looking at me. I am not concerned with. I am concerned with my job. So he knows also what is the attitude of the whole system. So during when he was alive, whether it is the Congress party, whether it is the media, whether it is the leftist or rightist, they branded him like anything. Even in a round table conference, Gandhi refused to accept the existence of Ambedkar as a leader. That is the first time. He claimed that I am the whole leader of the whole India. Who are these? And the statue which पटेल का भी जो बनाने जा रहा है, तो पटेल को भी ये सवाल पूछा था कि राउंड टेबल कॉन्फ्रेंस में कौन कौन गया? And Patel with the content, he said, some mochis and ghachis have gone. मोची देन घाची, वो आज का घाची समझता नहीं, उसको हम क्या करें, वो भी घाची है। मोदी belongs to घाची community, oil crushers. That was a statement of Patel. The Modi mochis and ghachis have gone. That was utter content attitude. अब ये भी धीरे धीरे आगे जाता है, तो फिर जब बैटल दोनों का क्लियर होता है, खास करके इंक्लूसिव पॉलिटिक्स ऑफ गांधी, ये भी हमें समझना पड़ेगा। गांधी के माध्यम से, कांग्रेस के माध्यम से देश में कोई भी फोर्स नहीं रहना चाहिए, उसके लिए बहुत सी कोशिश हुई है, चाहे वो मुस्लिम लीग का हो, चाहे इंडिपेंडेंट दलित का हो, या उसको अकोमोडेट करने की कोशिश हो, ये भी सारी बातें वी शुड अंडरस्टैंड इन दैट कॉन्टेक्स्ट। थर्डली, ये सारा करने के बाद पोस्ट अंबेडकर इज निगलेक्टेड अंबेडकर, चलो है ही नहीं, निगलेक्टेड हो गई। अब निगलेक्ट हो गया, लेकिन दलित मूवमेंट के अनूप कुमार जैसे लोग चुप नहीं बैठे कि कुछ ना कुछ करते रहते, तो शुरू हुआ मामला। तो फिर 80 तक तो निगलेक्ट हुए। 80 में क्या हुआ, थोड़ा बहुत लिटरेचर आया, महाराष्ट्र गवर्नमेंट के वो सारे वॉल्यूम्स आ गए, कॉर्पस अवेलेबल हुआ, तो थोड़ा बहुत अवेयरनेस हुआ। इसके ट्रांसलेशन भी दूसरे स्टेट में हुए, केरला में भी है, कभी कभी गलत भी है। शेड्यूल कास्ट का हरिजन ट्रांसलेशन है, जो हरिजन है ही नहीं, शेड्यूल कास्ट अनुसूचित जाति होना चाहिए, तमिलनाडु में है, तो कई स्टेटों में ये भी ट्रांसलेशन गलत तरीके से हो गया। अब उसके बाद लगा कि निगलेक्ट करने के बाद अंबेडकर स्टिल इमर्जिंग फोर्स, तो फिर अटैकिंग मेथड शुरू हो गया। द बेस्ट एग्जांपल पढ़ो, तो मैंने पढ़ने के बाद किताब का जो देखा मॉडल, तो ये मॉडल देखने के बाद लगा कि ये तो किताब कितने ऑथर की है मेरे को पता नहीं लगा है। एक तो आनंद है, फिर एक अरुंधति राय है, फिर बाबा साहब है, और फिर लास्ट में पूना पैक्ट के ऊपर आनंद की नोट है। अब कॉन्टेक्स्ट समझ में नहीं आ रहा है। अब देखो, ठीक है, इन्होंने बीएसपी लिख के गलती की, क्योंकि जब बीएसपी लिखते हैं ना तो आप लोग पॉलिटिकल पर्सनालिटी समझते हो, और जब पॉलिटिकल पर्सनालिटी समझते हो तो हमें एक समझ में आता है कि इनको कुछ नहीं आता है। अब मैंने 20 साल एलएलएम को पढ़ाया, 18 PhD मेरे अंडर हो गए, मैं खुद PhD हूँ। रिसर्च का मुझे पूरा पता है, साइंटिफिक, हाउ टू कंडक्ट साइंटिफिक रिसर्च। ये सारी बातें जब पता करते तो अपन ये राय की किताब को एनालिसिस करने के पहले लेट अस लुक एट द पर्सनैलिटी ऑफ राय। क्या अरुंधति राय फिलोसोफर है? सीधा सवाल है क्या? रिसर्चर तो रिसर्च नाम होंगे। हिस्टोरियन है क्या? तो है कौन? मतलब मैं जब कोई किताब लिखूंगा तो मेरे को पूछेंगे ना, भाई आपने कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल लॉ की किताब लिखी यार, आपको मालूम नहीं कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन का स्पेलिंग सी से शुरू होता है कि के से शुरू होता है? पूछोगे ना। तो अथॉरिटी तो देखोगे ना कि इन व्हाट वे, व्हाट इज योर अथॉरिटी। और अथॉरिटी का अगर उदाहरण देखूंगा ना तो मैं उनकी दूसरी किताब देखता हूँ, ये है ब्रोकन प्रॉमिसेस, मैंने पढ़ी है इसको। अब उन्होंने जर्नी किया है, उनके साथ कुछ दिन निकाले हैं, अपने जो भाई इधर उधर है उनके साथ उन्होंने कुछ समय बिताया है, इंटरव्यू किया है, एंड व्हाटएवर शी लर्न फ्रॉम देम शी राइट। नाउ कैन इट बी कंसीडर्ड ऑथेंटिक? अब इसकी एकेडमिक वैल्यू, लिटरेरी वैल्यू क्या है, हिस्टोरिकल वैल्यू क्या है? हाँ, शी हैड वन आर्ट कि जैसे कंपेरर होते हैं वो बहुत सारा इकट्ठा करके बेस्ट प्रेजेंटेशन करते हैं, शी हैड हैविंग दैट आर्ट। चाहे वो आर्ट आपको अच्छी लगे या बुरी लगे, उसको किसी ने रिकॉग्नाइज किया है, आपको अच्छी लगे या बुरे लगे, और इसके कारण वो मार्केटेबल प्रोडक्ट की आर्ट है। अब ये जब किताब का मैंने मॉडल बताया, इसी तरह ये इनका दूसरा मॉडल देखा तो एक तो फर्स्ट पार्ट तो उन्होंने वो आनंद के नाम पे एडिटर नोट लिखा है। तो ये बुक अरुंधति राय की है ही नहीं, क्योंकि ये तो एडिटर है। एडिटर किसको होता है भाई? जब एडिटोरियल वर्क होगा तो एडिटर है ना, तो एडिटर कैसा है? तो एडिटर है तो ये आनंद के नाम से आनी चाहिए, अरुंधति राय होने का सवाल ही नहीं है। लेकिन आनंद तो गायब है इसमें। अच्छा, वो लास्ट में पूना फैक्ट की नोट है, मेरी किताब है पूना फैक्ट की, 4th एडिशन में। फर्स्ट एडिशन वाज रिलीज्ड बाय कांशीराम जी हिमसेल्फ इन 2000। वो इतनी छोटी नोट है कि उसमें कुछ ना कट्स आते हैं ना कुछ आता है, क्यों लिखे समझ नहीं आता, आउट ऑफ कॉन्टेक्स्ट है क्या? तीसरी बात को समझनी चाहिए कि इन्होंने जो एनिहिलेशन ऑफ कास्ट लिखी है, कि देखो ये कास्ट डिस्कोर्स अच्छा लगे बुरा लगे, इंडियन सोशियो पॉलिटिकल होराइजन में आ रहा है, बड़े पैमाने पे आ रहा है, मंडल के बाद तो बड़े पैमाने पर आए। एनिहिलेशन ऑफ कास्ट को ये साधारण किताब में इन्होंने, हमारे साथी ने रेफरेंस किया, कांशीराम जी द ओनली मैन हु कुड नॉट स्लीप 3 days 3 nights आफ्टर रीडिंग दैट बुक। हम ऐसे कोई भी किताब पढ़ते तो जल्दी सो जाते हैं, हमें कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है, कभी कभी पढ़ते पढ़ते ही सो जाते हैं, और कुछ लोग तो नींद नहीं आती इसलिए पढ़ना शुरू कर देते ताकि उसको नींद आ जाए। He could not sleep 3 nights और the whole process वहां से शुरू हो गई। तो उस किताब में तो कोई जान होगी ना। अब वो किताब की जान है। अब ये जो पढ़ा ना मैंने पढ़ा इनका दिया हुआ, अब ये जब मुझे दिखाया गया तो मैंने कहा ये एनिहिलेशन ऑफ कास्ट बाबा साहब की है ही नहीं। बाबा साहब की एनिहिलेशन ऑफ कास्ट इधर है, इधर है। बाबा साहब की एनिहिलेशन ऑफ कास्ट विदाउट फुटनोट्स है, और यहाँ की एनिहिलेशन ऑफ कास्ट विथ फुटनोट है। और फुटनोट किसके हैं? राय के हैं। 170 फुटनोट्स ऐड किए। तो जो ओरिजिनल बुक है उसमें रेफरेंस नंबर देके नीचे फुटनोट लिखना, तो ये बाबा साहब की कैसी हो जाएगी एनिहिलेशन ऑफ कास्ट? बाबा साहब की तो विदाउट फुटनोट है, रेफरेंस वर्क है ही नहीं। इन्होंने क्या किया, ओरिजिनल टेक्स्ट बाबा साहब का लिया और अपने फुटनोट उसको सप्लीमेंट किए। तो एट द मोस्ट इस किताब की टाइटल होनी चाहिए कि एनिहिलेशन ऑफ कास्ट बाय डॉक्टर B.R. Ambedkar with the footnotes or annotated whatever critical you write afterwards। तो ये टाइटल गलत है, इसको चेंज करना पड़ेगा। अब वो लॉयर की बात में बाद में करूंगा, इसको चेंज करना है, बिल्कुल गलत है ये। आप ऐसा टाइटल दे ही नहीं सकते, क्योंकि ओरिजिनल एनिहिलेशन ऑफ कास्ट अंबेडकर is a speech prepared by himself, published by himself, that is a without reference work, without a footnote. और ये आपने जो किया है उसको 170 फुटनोट है, ये आपके फुटनोट है। अब आपके फुटनोट है तो इनकी रिसर्च क्वालिटी भी इतनी खराब है, पोस्टमार्टम करेगा तो भारी पड़ेगा। इतनी खराब है कि look at this page number 47. She says, annihilation of caste is often called, even by some Ambedkarites, as Ambedkar's utopia. Now she is writing, often called, even by some Ambedkarites, Ambedkar's utopia. It is an impracticable, unfeasible dream. You are making a sweeping statement. What kind of author you are? If you are not supplementing your general sweeping statement without a reference, ये कोई अच्छी ऑथर की क्वालिटी नहीं। ये अगर नॉवेल लिख रहे हो आप लोग तो ठीक है, लेकिन हिस्टोरियल कॉन्टेक्स्ट के ऊपर आप राइटिंग लिख रहे हो तो दिस इज कॉल्ड एज बिल्कुल घटिया राइटिंग। इट्स नॉट इवन अ लिटरेरी राइटिंग। आप अंबेडकर को सप्लीमेंट कर रहे हो फुटनोट से, तुम्हारे राइटिंग को सप्लीमेंट कौन करेगा? उसके लिए किसको हायर करें? हाँ? You are making a general sweeping statement, even that Ambedkar idea is a utopian idea, and even some Ambedkar scholars. ऐसे स्टेटमेंट करने का इसलिए कहा ना कि उनकी जो टोटल राइटिंग है उसका एक कोई ठोस आधार नहीं होता। Some writers develop a tendency to be a critical and controversial. Critical and controversial. अरुण तो तीस मनाते हैं। We don't have any personal grudge. I have never met her with. I have never interacted with her. No personal grudge. But some writers have that kind of tendency that they want to be that kind, so that they can occupy the market. और मार्केट ऑक्यूपाई करने की ये कला देखो जो इसमें भी रिफ्लेक्ट हुई है। ये किताब में उन्होंने कहा है, जो इधर से ये किताब से लिया, उनके पहले किताब से। और पहले किताब में क्या कहा है? The Indian Constitution, the moral underpinning of the Indian democracy, was adopted by Parliament 50. It was a tragic day for tribal people. Adoption of the Constitution was a tragic day for tribal people. The Constitution ratified a colonial policy and made the state custodian of the tribal homeland. Overnight, it turned the entire tribal population into the squatters on their own land. ये इसमें कोट किया है, तो आप रेफरेंस दे दो ना, आपके किताब से कोट किया है। Constitutionalism has the limitations with respect to revolution. अरे सोवियत यूनियन में रिवॉल्यूशन होने के बाद भी तो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन बनानी पड़ी। तो ये आपका एरिया नहीं है भाई, ये आपका एरिया है। उसके लिए बड़ा स्कॉलरशिप लगती है, लर्निंग लगती है। कोई भी अपने 4 न्यूज़पेपर पढ़े और टेलीविजन पे बैठे देखने के बाद डायरेक्ट टाइपराइटर पे बैठे और हवाई जहाज में बैठे बैठे स्टोरी लिखी, इसको अगर आप ऑथेंटिक और स्कॉलरशिप कहोगे तो बेवकूफी है, ये मौखरी है। ये रेफरेंस क्यों नहीं देते? आपके इसमें भी दिया है। अब कई जगह इन्होंने कहा है सीधा। अच्छा है, मुझे वो आपका इन्होंने मेरे को बहुत तकलीफ दिया। तो मेरा आज रिलेटिव एक्सपायर हो गए, 3rd डे कुछ होता है ना अपना, अंकल मर गए थे तो मुझे आज वो अटेंड करना था, लेकिन इस फंक्शन के कारण मैं वो छोड़ के आ गया, क्योंकि इन्होंने कहा कि भाई सर आना जरूरी है। देखो इसने ये अरुंधति राय ने जो किताब लॉन्च हुई कोलंबिया यूनिवर्सिटी में, तो उसने लिखा क्या कहा है उसने? Her own admission, she said at the launch of Columbia University that she had chosen not to publish her text as a stand-alone book. मतलब वो सेंट जो है ना, ये दूसरा वाला, she had chosen not to publish her text as a stand-alone book because she is into inverted comma, pretty sure it would have been banned or disappeared in some ways. So it was a bit of a Trojan horse operation. So in order to even sell the Arundhati Rai books, he need a help of Ambedkar. क्यों भाई? अगर आप इतने रिवॉल्यूशनरी क्रांतिकारी हो तो अम्बेडकर की क्यों हेल्प ले रहे हो? आप अपने बलबूते पे खड़े हो जाओ ना। उसको फियर है कि ये उसकी किताब जो है कौन सी है, द डॉक्टर एंड द सेंट। अब ये डॉक्टर एंड द सेंट जिसका वो किसी हमारे आंध्रा के साथी ने कहा कि तेलुगु पेपर ने ट्रांसलेशन उसका बहुत बढ़िया किया। हाँ, वैदुड़ और क्या संत प्रवक्ता, हाँ वैदुड़ और प्रॉफिट। अब ये अपनी एकेडमिशिया और ये सारे इंटेलिजेंसिया है। तो ये इसका जो टाइटल भी जो है कि द डॉक्टर एंड द सेंट, Arundhati Rai says even Ambedkar has described Gandhi as the saint. Ambedkar has described Gandhi as not only a saint but a political saint. Adjective is there. That adjective this lady has cleverly removed. Political saint. So title should have been very clear. The doctor and the political saint. But she removes that word political. अगर इसको मैं ये कहूँ कि ये जो उसका फ्रैंक एडमिशन है कोलंबिया यूनिवर्सिटी में, कि मुझे डर था कहीं मेरा किताब बंद न हो जाए जो बहुत सारा गांधी के बारे में लिखा है, तो मैं इसको अगर यही कहूँ कि you buy the Ambedkar and you get free Gandhi. You buy Ambedkar and you get free Mohandas Karamchand. अगर यही डिस्क्रिप्शन हो तो कौन सी गलत है? अब इसमें इन्होंने देखो भाई ये किताब इतनी छोटी हो गई। एक तो हमारे भी यंगस्टर से आप ध्यान रखो, जो एनिहिलेशन ऑफ कास्ट है उसके लगभग 15-16 इंपॉर्टेंट इश्यूज है। कोई गांधी है ही नहीं, गांधी तो बाद में आता है ना, वो पूरे टेक्स्ट में तो है ही नहीं गांधी, अपेंडिक्स में आता है। अपेंडिक्स होता है तो थोड़ा मेन बॉडी है, तो मेन बॉडी में यही गांधी नहीं है। प्रॉब्लम जो है वो सब पब्लिश होने के बाद गांधी जी को बुरा लगता है और वो अपने हरिजन में 15 अगस्त या कुछ डेट है उसके ऊपर लिखते हैं, 1936 में लिखते हैं। और फिर बाबा साहब उसमें वो एक एक्विजिशन करते हैं कि Ambedkar is not a man who will be allowed easily to be forgotten. गांधी made an acquisition और फिर उसको Ambedkar हिट करते हैं, उसको ही मिली हिट करते हैं। अब 36 में गांधी was well established leader, बाबा साहब उतने नहीं थे जो 46 में या 50 में है या 55 में है, 36 में है। तो वो बुक जो एनिहिलेशन ऑफ कास्ट है वो गांधी के बारे में नहीं है। कृपा करके अपने दिमाग में से कोई यंगस्टर होंगे हमारे रीडर जो क्या नहीं पढ़ा है, तो देखो उसमें एक तो वो जात पात तोड़क मंडल है लाहौर का, उस एजेंडा वाज एनिहिलेशन ऑफ कास्ट। चलो रिफॉर्म तो कहो, तोड़क तो है छोटे मोटे तो उनके इन्विटेशन के लिए स्पीच था, उनके कॉन्फ्रेंस के लिए स्पीच। उसमें व्हाट इज द कांग्रेस पॉलिसी टुवर्ड्स द एनिहिलेशन ऑफ कास्ट वो पहले डिस्कस हुई और उसमें जो बाबा साहब का वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कोटेशन है, ये लेडी ने कही, उसको कोट नहीं किया है और वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट कोटेशन है कि सुरेंद्रनाथ बैनर्जी ने कहा कि हाउ कांग्रेस पार्टी इज कॉम्पिटेंट टू डील विद द सोशल इश्यूज, और बाबा साहब अम्बेडकर ने इसको इतना बढ़िया से कहा है कि भाई every congressman who repeats the dogma of mill मतलब जॉन स्टुअर्ट मिल का डोगमा मतलब थियरी जो है कि एक देश दूसरे देश के ऊपर राज नहीं कर सकता, उसको कोई अधिकार नहीं। तो अम्बेडकर कोटिंग द बिल says every congressman who repeats the dogma of a mill that one country is not fit to rule another country must admit that one class is not fit to rule another class। ये इतनी बड़ी है, इस बात को यही कहीं नहीं है, ये सब छोटा मोटा चटर पटर होता है। जो जो डॉक्टरनल थीसिस के जो बातें होती हैं वो नहीं है। दूसरी भी बात नहीं है कि देखो इस किताब में सोशलिस्ट लोगों ने कास्ट के साथ एनालिसिस में कोई हिस्सा नहीं लिया, ये भी है, तो इसके बारे में यहाँ कुछ नहीं है। और वो फिर बाबा साहब का कोटेशन है, यू टर्न इन एनी डायरेक्शन, कास्ट इज द मॉन्स्टर दैट क्रॉसेस योर ईच एंड एवरी पाथ। अनलेस यू किल दिस मॉन्स्टर यू कैनॉट हैव एनी काइंड ऑफ रिफॉर्म। अब इसकी चर्चा तो है नहीं। उसके बाद जो है कास्ट और उसके इफेक्ट इंडियन सोसाइटी के ऊपर, और सबसे बड़ा इफेक्ट तो इंटेलेक्चुअल क्लास के ऊपर। और इंटेलेक्चुअल क्लास के बारे में जो बाबा साहब ने इसी बुक में कहा, जो हमको सब लोगों को याद करना चाहिए, जब आपको ये पोस्टमार्टम करना है तो पोस्टमार्टम करते वक्त what Ambedkar says about the intellectual class we should not forget, and I read literally. In every country the intellectual class is the most influential class, if not the governing class. मतलब पावर बिना भी हो सकता है लेकिन इन्फ्लुएंशियल तो होगा। The intellectual class is the class which can foresee, it is the class which can advise and give a lead. In no country does the mass of the people live the life of intelligent thought and action. सारे गरीब लोग तो नहीं रह सकते। It is a largely imitative and follows the intellectual class. There is no exaggeration in saying that the entire destiny of the country depends upon its intellectual class. If the intellectual class is honest, independent and disinterested, it can be trusted to take the initiative and give proper lead when a crisis arises. It is true that intellect by itself is no virtue. It is only a means, and the use of the means depend upon the ends. This is very important. How you are going to use your intellect. And Ambedkar says, depend upon your ends, which an intellectual person pursues. An intellectual man can be a good man, but he can easily be a rogue. Similarly, an intellectual class may be a band of high-souled persons, ready to help, ready to emancipate erring humanity, or it may easily be a gang of crooks or a body of advocates of a narrow clique from the cause it supported. And this is clearly needs to be applied. While analyzing anti-Ambedkarite discourse or anti-Dalit discourse, which you call, we have to understand this kind of thing. Finally, to sum up, we can do a lot of postmortem, but I don't want to go into that. Finally, to sum up, in this book, she has made 2-3 points which are very good. That the history has been unkind to Ambedkar and very favorable, kind to Ambedkar. That is also correct. Second, she has said that Ambedkar needs to be introduced to the Western, and therefore, again, your internet material. I was writing, she says again, this is an answer to our Dalit camera people. She had answered to Dalit camera Andhra people, and she says, I was writing for those in India as well as outside who are new to the subject, for whom caste is just some exotic Hindu thing. I saw a new line of handbags in a departmental store in the US called Brahmin. I'm sorry if you feel hurted. So this is, and she says, but even accepting this all, the final conclusion of this book is also problematic area. Now you are debating about the content, how it should be. But even the last sentences in a conclusion, this is a very problematic area. How it is problematic? One sentence, look at this. She gives an example. In the last days of Baba Sahib, he was in need of money. And he therefore, to publish his Buddha and his Dhamma, he asked the governmental assistance for the funds from the government of India. Because it was given to other books. So he asked. That was rejected. So Roy infers that he wore the suits, yes, but he died in a debt. He wore suits, W-R-E, suits. Yes, but he died in a debt, DBT. Now, this is a very cheap method of commenting. Now, Ambedkar never died as a debt-ridden man. He has a huge property, land, which he gave to different trusts and societies, which was not in his name. Neither his family was a debt-ridden. But any general reader who don't know about the Ambedkar, what he will get an impression? He will get an impression that Ambedkar, he mismanaged the finance of his own. The man who wrote about the mismanagement of the provisional finance in British India, probably they don't know. Probably they don't know. Now this comment, I see the root of this comment from where, you know? Because I am the man, many of you know me. At least I have worked 30 years in 11 states at the grassroots level, including the Kerala. You were quoting Kumar Gurudevan. Now, one day I visited a chamar shop, that is we call it Gatai Kamgar, a छोटं दुकान असतं ते. आणि त्यातल्या एका महाराष्ट्रातील चर्मकार माणसाला विचारलं की अरे इथे बापूचा फोटो आहे, बाबाचा का नाही? आणि त्याचं साधं उत्तर, सर आमच्यासाठी सोपं आहे, बापूकडे बघा, आम्हाला कपडे नव्हते तर बापू नागडे उडे राहिले, आणि बाबाकडे बघा, आम्हाला कपडे नव्हते तर बाबासाहेब सुटात होते. That was answer. Now if that is the attitude of Arundhati Rai, reflecting in this book, pitiable, pathetic. So such a very cheap comment is made by her, and finally again she raises a question: can caste be annihilated? And she says, not unless we show the courage to rearrange the stars in our firmament. Not unless those who call themselves revolutionary develop a radical critique of Brahmanism. Not unless those who understand Brahmanism sharpen their critiques of capitalism. She is suggesting methods also. This entire caste discourse, she has touched the even Dalit Panthers, small, but she has not dared to touch Kanshiram. She should have read the speech of Kanshiram, which was delivered at the first international convention at Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur. And where Kanshiram ji has given a new kind of theory of annihilation of caste, that so long as the caste is beneficial to the upper caste, it will never be annihilated. The day on which become the caste as the liability to the upper caste, they will say, hands up, bye-bye. Yes. And that will be the beginning of the annihilation. And therefore he says in analysis, because I was lucky to have many years in his company, I was groomed and trained in that period. He used to say that the caste is a double-edged weapon. So far it is coming from top to bottom, it is falling down. Now the day on which it will start with the same speed from bottom to top, the top people will say now, enough. And that is the Japan again, samurai people. And therefore to sum up the whole debate, if she is posing the question, how it is possible? Answers are many, but one answer could be given, that so long as been the caste as the beneficial factor to the protectors of the system, let it be proved as a disaster to the protectors, and they will say bye-bye to the caste. And that will stages are coming slowly, it may take time. But annihilation of caste is a possible. Only thing is that you don't try to annihilate very author of annihilation of caste. Thank you. We should throw the house open to the discussion. Be precise and clear in your whatever the question or the query, and be specific. English, even Kannada also, no problem. Telugu also. Malayalam also is there. Yeah. Mike is telling now.
It was more like an opposition to, I mean, obviously we cannot call Arundhati Roy here, but then had the publishers of Navayana been called, it could have been more like a discussion, like they saying as to what their point was, and this being like, okay, now this is what our point was, and then a discussion could have been. So in the future, this could be considered for a discussion.
There is this little history in Hyderabad when the protest first happened on the ground. Round Table India was not the first to protest. We featured only the writers who protested. So when the first happened, the protest, the message sent out to both Ms. Roy and through Anand was that we want to ask you questions. They didn't come. Publicly they said we are not coming to Hyderabad because there is a problem of distribution. Privately they were saying that we are expecting just because of one SMS they had received, some stray SMS, that we are expecting trouble and violence in Hyderabad, that's why we are not coming. So we have kept the discussion open. Two later events also happened in Hyderabad. One was at University of Hyderabad, wherein Dr. Kanchayalaya and other speakers had opened up this idea that both Roy and Anand should be invited for a public discussion. That discussion is our invitation is still out there. And we had planned to go to that event in Hyderabad in both places to ask questions. So who is open to dissent, who is open to opposition, you have to decide. That invite is still out there. And that invite was still out there, and they plan to come to any university. We'll also join them there. But some invitations have an expiry date. We have written 32 articles from 32 diverse regions, from right from America to Hyderabad to Kerala. Senior actives from Kerala have written, senior actives from Hyderabad and Andhra have written. There has been no response. There has not been one single response from that side. They are not willing, to participate in the debate. They don't consider us as equally interlocutors. We are not rejecting any invitation. You should ask Ms. Roy and Mr. Siriavan Anand Iyengar why they don't want any debate. We are not the wrong persons to ask about it. All are invited, we said. We don't see Anand or Roy here. They can fly around the world in hours. They could have flied here. No, we are not the person. We invited debate right from the beginning. So that clarifies your doubts, I hope.
Next question. Yeah.
My question is in reference to James's article. I was reading how...
Can you take help of the mic? The nearest one.
Go ahead.
Don't stretch it too far.
I was reading how... Switch it on. I was reading about the appropriation of resources, from physical resources to even the appropriation of art. Now that strategy is implemented. So in today's time of rise of the economic right, no matter how much we condemn capitalism or how bad we say it is, we have to agree with the fact that it is one thing that can raise the quality of our life in the near future. So what would you say about the appropriation of economics by the upper caste? You wouldn't see any senior executives in the higher corporates which are Dalits. So what would you say about that rare concept of a Dalit entrepreneur?
I don't know, I'm not the best person to answer that question. What is my opinion about Dalit entrepreneurs?
What is your opinion about appropriation of economic space by upper class? Why are talking of only this?
No, that is the one more issue. One more issue. There are different issues. Today our focus was on this, therefore we concentrated on this.
In our article we have mentioned about various kinds of appropriation, right? So appropriation of the knowledge has become a commodity now. So that is also one aspect. Knowledge commodification is happening on a huge scale. So if you look at the politics of the annotation and the footnote is precisely that. So they have copyrighted the footnote, right? They have copyrighted the annotation. So actually, Annihilation of Caste has been copyrighted by them, and they're making money out of it. Also, they're peddling their books. So if you look at the footnotes, all of the footnotes, most of the footnotes are written, footnotes are referenced back to upper caste people. So Annihilation of Caste reference back to upper caste people, and that is also a way of selling their books, right?
An advertisement for upper caste
So,
academics.
Advertisement for upper caste academies, and also they are kind of subtly, very clearly saying that to understand AOC, you have to go and read upper caste books. Heavily priced. Citation business. So all the citations are Harvard University Press, Columbia University Press, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 rupee books which are being sold. Not only books but also articles which are available for expensive downloads from websites and all. So in that sense also it's a huge appropriation. So yeah, so when you talk about the book, we are also talking about the larger capitalist machinery, I think.
So if you could comment on the copyrights issue, because this is not the first book. Anand has been taking Tampering the AWS with a note clearly saying that this is a copyright and you can't quote. But he is doing the same, and also the Navyan. Navyan is Baba Sahib's concept, and he has taken it, and now if a Dalit wants to have a Navyan press of his own, he won't have the rights because it's clearly copyright issue now, because Anand owns it. So, and he also calls it as a bastard child. Navyan is a bastard child between he and some interlocutors who are Dalits. So if you could comment on that politics of copyrights versus copyrights and from a legal framework.
So 1 minute, I would like to see this question from two perspectives. One is, I would want Kufrida to comment on this, his other books and the entire enterprise, like Bhimian and others. And then probably the legal aspect of something.
Use and misuse of Ambedkar writing with its all commercial aspect, as if it is their own production, a fit case for litigation. Fit case for litigation.
James has about the Lavayana titles, how they have,
Different titles.
all of them are in somewhere the other has.
Navayana publication. I think Akshay would be able to tell you the stats. We did a statistical study of
The titles itself, there will be appropriation of other books when of Ambedkar. So, and he holds the copyright now.
Yeah, right.
So you talk more about that.
Yeah, 2-3 books. I mean, I already mentioned that. D.N. Jha's book again. D.N. Jha's book, Who Picked Up the Holy Cow, which is actually written by, studied by Ambedkar in a much more expanded manner. And this man suddenly pops up from somewhere and writes the same material, and without, I mean, most appalling thing is that everything reference to Ambedkar. So it's as if in the 1990s he suddenly discovered that Vedic Brahmins used to eat beef, and then it was published. Again, it was published by Navayana, it was published in the US by Verso. And this is what is happening with Annihilation of Caste also. Annihilation of Caste has not only been published in India, it has been sold to an international publisher. And at Verso. And we don't know how they could do it.
Yeah, she gets to go out.
Huh?
Author of the book.
The publicity which he showed me on the net actually, it is the Arundhati Rai, Ambedkar plus Arundhati Rai, Annihilation of Caste.
Sometimes it was only Arundhati Rai.
Now, in the library science, because the experts are library science, because normally this side is looked after while maintaining the books in the bookshelves. And here the Arundhati Rai is there. So, indirectly they are selling in the name of Arundhati Rai Ambedkar's book. That's what I said. It is a fit case for litigation. You can. Even the title and everything, the misappropriation could be. That is the matter.
And all the Dalit authors which have been published, handful of Dalit authors who have been published, even those books are introduced by upper caste people, annotated by upper caste people, and the copyrighted edition will go back to them. All the Dalit authors, Dalit poets which have been published by Navayana. suffers from the same fate. And many of the books, again, as I said, nothing is original.
Ramayana, against the madness.
Against the madness of Manus and against.
What is Vimayana, by the way?
Akshay would like to speak on Vimayana. He also has the book on it.
Just add to what James and I have already written. So actually the interesting argument was, we analyzed the bibliography, I think 156 books, out of which about 60% were Savarnas and mostly whites, I think 2 OBCs at the most. And when we did that analysis, everybody said, ye intellectual exercise hai. But Arundhati Roy quotes CSDS survey on saying media mein itna baniya ye wo. Why can't we do the same analysis for their bibliography, which is purely led by? So we are all very unintellectual. The other thing is this. This book is actually more dangerous. This book is waiting for a visa.
Can you show it to the camera?
It's Bhimayana. I think a lot of people know this. It's his what do you call it? Golden.
Flagship.
So uska, it is actually, and you know, appropriation, we're probably not talking it in air. This book is recommended in Delhi schools and I think Delhi University. There you go. This man has called himself the author of the book. It's actually waiting for a visa. Ambedkar doesn't feature anywhere. It's his life story that he had written.
Yeah.
He doesn't feature. I mean, okay, it's about him is another matter. But he has appointed himself as author. And that is, so we're not talking in air. Everybody thinks he's the author of this book. And this is an actual existing appropriation. People think Annihilation of Caste, we're talking in the air. The other thing is that this has already been translated into 8 languages, I think, and the world over selling, I don't know how many rights and whatnot. It's funded by, I mean, you know, they're such anti-capitalists. They're funded by they're anti-imperialism. It's funded by Prince Klaus Fund and One World Action, run by some Iyengar friends of his. No, literally, I'm not joking. And so this is an actual existing act of appropriation that we have seen. The other thing is that if he says, if Anand and Arundhati say that this book is meant for lay readers who have not read caste or whatever, they don't know about caste, or why is it making its way into universities? Why are they so interested in university? There was an instance of somebody called Pallavi Rao from Manipal University who said that for a couple of years, she was asking the university to order Ambedkar's books, and they didn't. But Arundhati Roy's book comes and it makes its way into the university. Why? Why does that happen? Why do they not, address these questions? And I must add that the argument about them not coming here, it's going further from Kufir. There's only been abuse that has been showered. They're quite brave when he says that I don't care about abuse, but it's been really horrible abuse. So one should also factor that in.
They have been called all kinds of.
Yeah.
From the day.
And also the university, the German university.
Yeah, there's a mud.
They're establishing a Ambedkar chair or something.
Next question.
Actually, I would like to talk something regarding the teaching of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Many times we are focusing on the annihilation of the caste and caste issue are taking by the Dr. B.R.
Is this relevant to this discussion?
Yes, it is. And actually, I would like to focusing why we are fighting towards the upper caste Hindus if we don't have the machineries to fight with them. Actually, I would like to know, they have the political machineries, they have the religious machineries like RSS. If we don't have, okay, we are saying many times that we are the Dalits, we are the Dalits, we are the. Why don't we are focusing that we are the Buddhists? Dr. B.R. Ambedkar showing the path to us that convert yourself from Dalit to the Buddhist. Okay, then nobody is going to convert themselves. They are using the Ambedkars and their philosophy or their thoughts of their struggle for the reservation and Dalit Satyachar and many of things. Many intellectuals, they are fighting for their rights as the Dalits, or they are writing for the Dalits. You know what actually Dr. B.R. Ambedkar also fed up that nobody is going to understand what is my fighting for. I am fighting for that the Dalits, they Hindu, they don't understand what I am saying. That's why I convert myself into Buddhism. Then I would like to ask the intellectuals from the North India as well as the South India, why they don't convert themselves into Buddhist? Why they don't have their own identity? That's it. And one more thing, my one of the friend is showing the light towards the Dalit entrepreneurship. Look, one thing we have to understand, if our enemy is very much powerful, okay, then we have to fight with this enemy with more powerful weapons. Understood? Take the example of the Muslim community, okay, they are going towards the terrorism. They have the threats in the India as well as the international level.
I think this discussion is going really on the wrong direction. So, and this is your individual view, but I'm sorry we are running short of time and we only have 15 more minutes. Sorry. We will discuss one-on-one probably. I'll introduce you to the guest also and you can talk to them one-on-one.
No, let me have one more point. Dr. Mani said that when Gandhi's come to the India, the Birla has taken his politician. I would like to know if Dalit leader want to be leader, then how we are going to fund to the Dalit leader to become a leader or the Prime Minister of India? Did we have the machinery, economic machinery? Did we have the machinery for the challenging the others?
Okay, finish. One thing. What you said is absolutely right. Your opponent is equipped with all kinds of the powers. But that does not mean that you should not fight. That's one. We have to fight with all possible ways and means. That's number one. Number two, conversion doesn't solve the problem. It has been proved. We have to be little bit upright and courageous to say. Even the story was narrated by our one of the friend here, Johanan's story. He himself, even a lot of Kerala, that is 9% Dalit Christian population, embraced Christianity. He was the man to burn the Bible. And the poetry which you read, written by him, composed by him, in the PRDS books are there. Same is the conversion problem in the north also, even Islam. Dalit Christians, there even petitions are pending in the Supreme Court for even reservations. Even our Buddhists, we are Buddhist. I am a Buddhist here in Maharashtra. We know very well. What are our problems? Even after the Buddhist embrace, we are facing the Keralaji, we are facing the Jokede, we are facing all the things. So that does not mean that the conversion is the only solution. Baba Sahib thought it was a probable solution, which will elevate you psychologically, and that psychological preparation for the fight. It's not only simple conversion, number two. But three, which again you should understand, if they are having that original stage, I gave an example that Birla was initially funded. And subsequently Gandhi created a 1 crore, not 1 crore, 1 crore Tilak Swaraj Fund. 1 crore Tilak Swaraj Fund, and that 60 lakhs were collected from only Bombay province and 40 lakhs from rest of India. 40 lakhs from rest of India. Now Gandhi never agreed with Tilak. But when Tilak died, he created the fund in his name. There comes the Paniya man. There comes the Paniya man. So regarding the fund also, as you rightly put it, because that is also one of the source of the power. And whatever you said is right. Even Ambedkar's 7th volume categorically says, if you want to destroy a power on other side, you need a more power on your side. And without more power on your side, you cannot destroy the power on other side. And that includes everything. That includes everything, even funding, all kind of literary, academic, all kind of means we'll have to use. This is an ongoing battle. It is a process. Step by step it goes further. Initially OBC was not ready to come with us. Now at least 10%, 5% because of Mandal. Initially Muslims were not ready to come. Now they are coming. Tribals were not ready to come. Slowly they are coming. Even some upper caste people who understand, digest the Ambedkar discourse, they are ready to join. They are coming. So slowly, slowly this battle is getting sharpened. So day by day it is advancement. We have to go by step. One minute dialogue it cannot finish.
Any other question? Anyone wants to speak? Probably may feel have missed out because there are many who have come from different parts of India. Okay. So I think we are more or less. Sorry.
Varsha, you want to add anything?
With this we conclude this discussion, and I need to mention the name of the person who has helped in getting this facility available here. That is Mr. Sanjay Vairal, the Senate member. So can we have a round of applause for him, please? Before that, one more announcement to be made.
Tomorrow from 6 to 8, we are having a talk in TIS, Tata Institute of Social Sciences, Mumbai, opposite Devnath Bastico, and Anup sir will be there, and he will talk on caste in Indian campuses, experience and activism. So whoever wants to join us can join tomorrow the talk.
So we had announced a few months ago when we had started writing this critique of Arundhati Roy's introduction to AOC, many people had asked us, why don't you write your own book? So we told them that we will write our own book. That book is in stage of completion. It will be out in a couple of weeks. Now they'll say, why are you writing a book? But that will also happen. But we are publishing the book, and it will happen in a couple of weeks, and we'll be back for here, and well, probably Manesar has the time. Yes.
Please have.
Thank you very much, sir.
We have kept tea here, so please have tea and thank you very much.
And I would like to personally thank them. It is not Roundtable India, but it is the SC, ST, OBC Students and Teachers Association which have done it. Sanjay Vairal sir, Sangeeta ma'am. And others who are his friends standing over there who have helped this along, and I would like to thank all of them with sincerest heart. Jai Hind.